When I worked like a real job, a regular job, I tried to work from 8 to 4 instead of 9 to 5. Sometimes I would get in at like 7:30, leave at 3:30. That was nice. You did 8 to 4. I think 8 to 4 is better than 9 to 5 for me anyway. But really, nowadays it's like 8 to 5 because you get scammed out of your lunch break. I don't know. Yeah, 9 to 6, scam. Me and my coworkers would always have lunch together. The girl that I replaced who trained me was like, oh, it's okay to just say you had a 30-minute lunch even if you had a 1-hour lunch. It's okay. Everybody does it here. And I was like, okay. Sometimes it was an extra long lunch. Sometimes we would be chatting. Everybody would be chatting. It would be a 90-minute lunch. I'd bring bento. I did bring my own lunch every day. That was the time when I brought the plantains and everyone was like, why are you eating bananas in your lunch? Cooked bananas. Plantains. They're good. Sounds like a hearty meal. That was in my like very productive era where I was cooking. I always had like a healthy lunch like every day, except some days when I didn't manage to cook and my lunch would be a bagel with peanut butter, and my coworkers would also be like, is that all you're gonna eat? Just a bagel with peanut butter and a piece of fruit? And I would be like, you don't understand. This is what I would eat every single day for lunch if I was not concerned with my nutrition. I wish I could eat a bagel with peanut butter and a banana every single day for lunch. That's ideal for me, so you don't have to feel bad when I break out the bagel for lunch. That's not a struggle meal for me. The fresh veggies and the peanut noodles with tofu, that's what I don't want to be eating. Not really. I love me some peanut noodles. I love me a healthy lunch, but there's just something about a bagel with peanut butter. Make some bagels. I haven't mastered bagels yet. I have made bagels before, but I wouldn't say I nailed it. I would say the bagels I made were better than like a grocery store bagel, but still not as good as like a proper bakery bagel. Yeah, like a New York bagel that has like the shell on the outside and it's like chewy on the inside. Yeah, I did boil them and then bake them. Do I scoop my bagels? What does that mean? No? What do you mean scoop? Like a donut? Taking out the inside? Wait, no, that's cursed. You don't scoop the inside out. You poke a hole in with your finger and then you widen the hole. You don't scoop it. I guess that's what you do with donuts. Well, with donuts, you usually use like a mold and then you like cut out the middle. That's why you can get a donut hole, because you just take the dough from the middle that you cut out and you fry that up. But that's not what you do with bagels. Bagels, you have to stick your finger in and make a hole. You like your donut without a hole? I feel like you're trying to be cursed with that statement, but like I respect it. Some of the best donuts don't have holes. Like a cinnamon twist doesn't have a hole. One of the best donuts. Boston cream, no hole. Jelly filled, no hole. These are some of the best donuts you can get. Apple fritter, no hole. A maple bar, no hole. These are some of the top donuts. Apple fritter is a donut. I think it counts. I mean, maybe it's more of a pastry. It's not really a pastry though. I don't know. I think it's a donut. They sell them at donut stores, so now I want donuts. Cake donut supremacy. I'm not really into cake donuts. In my opinion, they're an imposter donut. It's just a cake in the shape of a donut. To me, it's not about the shape. As we discussed, a donut is about the dough used. It's not about the shape. A donut can come in any shape. It has to be yeast raised and then deep fried. Cake donuts are like cake batter that's baked in the shape of a donut. That's just a cake. That's just a cupcake in another form. Kids always want to see the same video. They do, don't they? Kids just want to watch the same video on repeat over and over again. Have you ever been hanging out with a kid, like babysitting, and you're trying to entertain them, but also entertain yourself? And you're like, oh, why don't we watch something cool? Like we could watch Gravity Falls, we could watch Adventure Time. And then they're like, no, I just want to watch this 1-minute video on loop forever. Shrek for the 100th time. Only Coco Melon. Okay, Gigi showed me those, what is it? The dancing fruits videos? And honestly, they were kind of a vibe. The sensory dancing fruit videos. You love those videos? They are kind of a vibe. I have to admit. such super quiet. Okay, but have you ever watched one that is set not to like baby music, but to like hip hop? Because it still works. They're entrancing. I don't know, she showed me this like Halloween one. It's like these Halloween dancing fruits. And I was into it. It had the aesthetic, the Halloween aesthetic. It had the vibes. Am I okay? Don't ask if I'm okay. I blame Gigi. No, I'm grateful to Gigi for showing it to me. I'm realizing I'm getting out of the loop. I wouldn't know about parkour civilization. I wouldn't know about sensory dancing fruits. Without her, she was showing me Cookie Run. I wouldn't know anything about that. Okay, I still honestly don't know anything about Cookie Run. This was a nice short game. That's good because I cannot stream for too long today. Please do the DLC. I've been thinking about it. It's shorter, right? The DLC. It's not as long as the main game. It's not that much shorter. About 11 hours. I mean, that's shorter, right? It took me like 21 hours to do the main game. It took you longer because you got stuck. I also get stuck. But I think that my completion time of Outer Wilds was well within the normal range. Range. It gets pretty scary, doesn't it actually? Oh gosh. And I am kind of a baby. Great playthrough. Great. I've been trying to practice rolling my R's more. It's hard to do it like indefinitely. Am I a masochist for horror? I don't know. I don't think so. I only like physical pain. Not mental pain. You know the pain after you like work out and you're sore? That's the good stuff. Or like after you get like the flu shot and your arm is sore? That's the good pain right there. Is it just me? You hate that? I don't know. I love it. Or like when I get my ears pierced, that kind of pain. That's why tattoos are addictive. I don't have any tattoos and I don't really plan to get any tattoos, but I can imagine I would be into the tattoo pain. I don't know. It's because like it's like a productive pain, you know? It reminds you that you did something like good or something you wanted to do if it's the case of a piercing. The pain of accomplishment, exactly. Like the pain after a hike or just any kind of workout is good. No pain, no gain. I should get into martial arts. I should. I've thought about taking jujitsu classes. Really spicy food. I like spicy food too. But I don't know, for me I like the spicy pain while you're eating it, but I don't like if it gives me stomach pain. For me that's too much. How often do I hike? I hike occasionally. I do like to hike. Hiking is good. I like to walk in general. Walking, I don't know. I don't always like to exercise, but I love to walk. I can walk 15,000 steps, no problem. I mean, most people can, right? But for me, it's like, it's enjoyable the whole way through, you know? Like the whole 15,000 steps is like enjoyable. I'm never like, I hate this. But if I'm like running, like 5 minutes into running, I'll be like, I hate this. And I would walk 500 more, exactly. Running sucks. But walking is great. I love to walk. Biking is okay. I used to ride my bike to work, but then I gave up and started taking the bus. But my commute to work was like uphill. And contrary to popular belief, it doesn't go uphill both ways. So in the morning, it would be uphill. And then in the evening, it would be downhill. So the morning commute was tough. I would be all sweaty by the time I get to work after biking uphill the whole way. But then after work was the best because I didn't have to pedal at all. I just go all the way down. That was pretty good. But I did give up and just start taking the bus because I found out that there was a bus route that goes like literally my exact commute, and it takes like 3 minutes to ride the bus. Maybe 5, maybe more like 5. You know, it turns like a 20-minute bike ride into like a 5-minute bus ride. Maybe it was even like 30 minutes on the bike because it's like uphill. So I just started taking the bus. But the exercise, I know. But the money, okay, but I had a bus pass from my work. They gave me a bus pass, so I didn't have to spend any money. It was free. It was free. So I just started taking the bus. The bike never stood a chance. My bike got stolen. I don't know if I've ever told this story. So it was actually an internship that I had. And it was kind of like my first time working a job. It was my first internship and I was so excited to have an internship and go to work and try it out. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a bike so that I can bike to my internship. And I did. And the very first night that I had my bike, well, I went to the bike shop and I was like, okay, I need a bike lock. Can you recommend one to me? And they recommended me one of those like soft loop bike locks. I don't know what they're called, but like the flexible ones. And I was like, okay. And I got that and I parked my bike outside. And the first night that I parked it outside, it got stolen. I went down in the morning ready to start my internship and I saw that my bike lock was cut and it was on the ground and my bike was no longer to be found and I just broke down. I just started crying and I had to call my internship and I was like, my bike got stolen. I'm sorry. I don't know how to come in today. And they were like, oh, that's fine. You can start tomorrow. Don't worry about it. And then I was just standing there so sad because my bike was stolen and I was like, what do I do? And I called my mom and I was like, my bike got stolen. What do I do? And she was like, okay, you need to call the police. Don't worry. So I called the police. And this is where I got really lucky. I called the police and there's a lady I talked to on the phone and she was like, oh, your bike got stolen this morning or last night. We have your bike. We caught the person in the act of stealing your bike and we have it. You can come to the station to pick it up. And I was like crying on the phone with her because it was an emotional like 30-minute ride of me being so excited to start my internship, going down, seeing that my bike was stolen, being absolutely crushed, thinking it's so over. I called the police not expecting anything and then this lady was like so deadpan. Like she didn't care about my bike, obviously, because why would she? But I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. This is so amazing that you found my bike. This means so much to me. Thank you so much. You've saved my day, my internship. Thank you. And she was just like, yeah, you can come get it, whatever. Just come pick it up, okay? I don't want to store it here anymore. So I did. I went and got my bike. And I felt I was very lucky. It was just another day for her. Was it in perfect condition? It was. It didn't get damaged or anything. I mean, okay, so the thing is, there were like cameras. It was like a high foot traffic area. The place I was living had cameras out in front. So like, they literally caught them in the act. The bike thief. Did the cameras catch me crying? Probably. You know, after that, I started keeping my bike in my apartment until the apartment manager saw me putting it in there and was like, hey, you can't put your bike in your apartment. That's against code. And I was like, what? Why not? And then they're like, well, just put it in the bike room. And I was like, what? The what room? They were like, yeah, the bike room. We have a locked garage specifically for bikes. You can put it in. And I was like, I could have just parked my bike in the bike room and it wouldn't have been stolen. We had one of those. Yeah, so then I started putting it in the bike room. The mythical bike room. Story just keeps on giving. This is like, I don't know, classic story of learning how to be an adult. Never get one of those flexible bike locks. You need to get one of the steel U-locks. The flexible ones are worthless. They can cut those with wire cutters in like 2 seconds. You need the U-shaped steel locks. Yeah, so I got one of those. That was the only time my bike got stolen, and luckily I was able to. They found it. I was very lucky. How much was my bike? I think it was like a $300 bike when I bought it. It was a cute bike. It was one of those like vintage looking bikes, which honestly, like when I picked it out, I only cared about the appearance of it. 300 is entry level. Well, it was entry level because I didn't even know how to ride the bike. Maybe that's also like the sad part, right? Is like I had just learned how to ride this bike. I had never ridden a bike before. And I was so excited to be a big girl, going to my internship on my bike, learn how to ride a bike. And then it got stolen. How old was I? I was in college. I was an adult. Do I still have the bike? No. I stopped using it when I figured out it's easier to ride the bus. So I donated my bike. It's scary to ride the bike on the street. I was like a bad cyclist because I would ride it on the sidewalks or hopefully a bike path. There were actually a lot of bike paths on my way to work. That's why I wanted a bike. But I was too scared to ride it on the street, so I didn't, which you're not supposed to do. Sidewalk is much safer. For me, it's much safer. Illegal bike rider, yeah. The cops don't care, it's fine. That's like the thing. My plan, if I ever got in trouble, was to just be like, but I'm scared to ride in the street. You wouldn't make a little Karen like me ride in the big scary street, would you? That would work. They never actually stopped me, so you'd allow it. Did I wear knee guards? No, but I did wear a helmet. But I'm cute. Exactly. It's a bigger fish to fry. What color was my bike? It was like a mint color. Yeah, like a teal or a mint. No, it was more mint than teal, I think. It was very cute. Green as always. Exactly. I kind of miss riding it, but not really because, you know, I ended up just taking the bus. Did it have a basket? Did it? No, it didn't. But I wanted it to have a basket. Was it a cute bus? No, not really. This is a regular bus, you know, the city bus. Sometimes I would also take like the subway. In the subway, there were always strange things happening on the subway. There were always something happening on the subway. But the bus was like pretty chill in comparison. Not much was happening on the bus. Such as, I don't know, what's like the weirdest thing that happened? I don't know if I even remember the weirdest things that happened on the bus. Or on the subway, I mean. The subway does get wild. You've seen some weird stuff. It's just generally unsettling on the subway. Don't ride the subway at 3 a.m. Raves in subways. Japan subways are an exception. I do like Japan trains. But there were some weird things that happened on the Japan trains too. Well, first of all, they can be really crowded, which I hate. I hate having to like squeeze in. I mean, drunk salarymen. Well, there was a drunk girl who threw up on the train that I was in Japan. And that was pretty gross. And the vomit was like sliding around on the floor. And then we had to change cars. They never show that in anime. I mean, that's just a constant no matter where you are in the world, right? That'll happen even in Japan where the trains are always on time. There will always be drunk people doing drunk people things. How many got caught in the crossfire? It was gross. Everybody, and it smelled too. It was very disgusting. Honestly, everybody like fled to one side of the car. What time was this? It wasn't even that late. Because remember, I had a granny sleep schedule. I think it was like 8 p.m. when this happened. Throws off the schedule.